Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving. It is Thursday, November 27th. Markets closed because we're all celebrating Thanksgiving. So I wanted to pop on here because yesterday I didn't have a chance. I went boxing. And today's a day of having some food, maybe hanging out with friends and family. I got some family over my house and just enjoying the day and relaxing a little bit and getting your mind out of the markets. So we had a pretty good run. And actually, what was it? Tuesday, we had that big tariff drain. It was 24 point something billion. So far, about 33 billion for the month of November tariff drain, exactly at the level that I had been telling you guys, the level that I was forecasting. So we are losing more than one, or about one Social Security payment a month. It's being drained out by the tariffs, okay? Because we get like once a week, about a 30 billion Social Security, sometimes a little bit even less than that. So the tariffs are more than offsetting, removing one Social Security payment a week. So that's big. And right now, we are looking at net government transfers down 110 billion compared to last year. And I did some math, I did some calculation on that. We're trending towards about a 550 billion drop in net government transfers if trends stay the way they are. When I talk about trends, I'm talking about tariff trends. They might get worse. Okay, but right now, we're looking at these tariff drains trending to like a 550 billion drop in net government transfers this year compared to last year. What is that? That's like 1.5% of GDP shaved off. So if we were looking at a 4% GDP, we're looking at it, like a 2.5 or 2.25% GDP growth rate. And again, like I always say to you guys, that's without any multipliers. Almost any economist you would ask would say that there's a multiplier effect, both on the positive side and the negative side. So, and they usually put a 3 times multiplier. So in that case, we're wiping out any GDP growth. All right. Now remember, net government transfers, that's the water in the swimming pool. And if we extrapolate out, as I just did, with the multipliers to like a 4.5% subtraction, there's no water in the swimming pool. All right? Now, the drain doesn't happen all at once, okay? It's like you pull the plug at the bottom of your pool. The water doesn't disappear instantly. It takes a little time for that water to drain out. But eventually, what are you left with? You're left with an empty swimming pool. And that's kind of like where we're headed right now. The only thing I would include in this or throw in there for you to consider, and I've been doing this now regularly, and I've repeated, like, I have to do this. If I didn't do this, you would say I was remiss in my analysis. I was leaving out an important component, and that is the foreign sector. And I'm sorry if this is getting repetitious, but it's important. Repetition is how we learn. And I said the other day, kind of like my back of the envelope calculation, we're looking at 185 billion annual contribution from the foreign sector. Right now, at least that's what I could ascertain from looking at what's happening to the trade deficit, which is contracting, okay? That's foreign sector net spending. So what is that? That's like, I don't know, 0.6%. Let's use a multiplier on that, 1.8%. So rather than a 4.5% contraction, what does that leave us with? Like a 2.7% contraction? So we're somewhere in that range. I think we're somewhere in that range. So we're talking about maybe a growth rate, a GDP growth rate of around 1.3%. So that's not a recession, but that's not anything to write home about. All right. And I think that if you consider this, and I think I'm pretty close on the numbers, that the stock rally right now is getting, from what I can see, it's getting a little bit speculative. What do I mean by speculative? That like the valuation underpinning, and I'm not necessarily talking about PE ratios or anything. I'm just talking about valuation in terms of what people perceive as the economic outlook. I think they're not taking all of this stuff into consideration. And I think the rally now, it's getting a little bit speculative, which means there's more risk in the rally right now. And I would also apply that to gold and silver and some other commodities, copper, etc. So I'm not going to take up a lot of your time because I know many of you are enjoying your Thanksgiving, and I want to wish everybody, all of you, especially those who have subscribed to this channel, thank you very much, and those who have been steady, consistent watchers of my channel, have a wonderful, healthy, and joyous Thanksgiving. And, you know, like I say, I keep putting this stuff out. I keep putting this stuff out there every day. And, you know, we'll be on the right side. That's all I have to say. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.